All right, welcome back to Barely. Today we're back at it again, working on the back of Shelly, the Tundra. So we finished last time the front bumper and we got that all worked away. I kind of like how it looks. It's kind of growing on me, so I can't say for sure what's gonna happen. But what I can say for sure is we're gonna take this rear bumper off and we're gonna start building the rest of it. Okay, let me show you what we're working with, and this is kind of the plan. We'll play by ear a little bit, but that's what we always do. This right here is going to be the rear bumper. So it's going to have the straight bar across, and then this is just going to curve at the back on each side of this. These will be the posts to connect it, so that maybe this might be an extension in case it's not long enough. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Let's get to it. I'm going to start tearing it apart. It looks pretty easy. We'll see though. All right, we're done. The sun is going down pretty quick, but as you can see, I got the full bumper off, and look what I found. Oh, you can't see it, a little hole, and I'm curious if this hole will fit the pipe. Let's look. No way. Look at that. So this is the same pipe size as the front that I recently just did, and it's the same prefab pre-cut kit for just your regular basic Amazon. It's not even specifically for this truck, yet somehow that is the most beautiful and perfect fit that anyone could ever ask for. I think I'm gonna change what I'm gonna do. My original plan was to do something like the front of the truck where you weld it onto a plate, and I was planning on making plates to weld on to the back. Knowing I had a tow hitch, I wasn't sure how it was gonna work, but now I think I'm gonna clean up all of this. This is all nasty and rusted, and so I'm gonna clean it all up. I'm gonna paint it, and then yes, I know you're not supposed to do it over paint, but if I do it over paint this one time, please forgive me. But I think I'm gonna do it like this. It has pre-bent pieces, and then I can just run it up into here, kind of like the front, and then I can just cut it to length. I could go around the outside and make it a little bit more of actual off-road, but with how rusty and dented this all is, it doesn't really matter. I think I'd like the look of it if it goes in flush where this flares out, and if that fit right in that little pocket. So I might just cut it to length here, weld it in here. That saves me from making plates. All I have to do is center it on this, and if I center it on this and weld it in here, that's all there is to it. I think that just made the whole job a whole lot more easy, and I was really concerned about the back. So let's get to cleaning it and let's just see how it looks. Wow, I'm just blown away. All right, let's get to it before the sun goes down. Okay, so I got it pretty clean. Let's look at it. It's a little bit hard to see in the dark, but that's it. I mean, some shine got brought back to it. There's some surface rust, goes a little bit deeper. I got all the flakes off. I cleaned it off with some acetone, and I got it about as good as I can clean it for now. So I'm gonna spray it. I'm gonna spray it with some black rust inhibitor and call it good for the night. Get rid of the rust, make it look a little bit better. I know that it's gonna cover up the holes that I'm gonna be welding, but that's okay, because if you actually look at it, I can just sand it off again and weld through it. Would you look at that? So that's kind of the plan. I'm just gonna spray it just so everything's sprayed, and I know that it's gonna have to get taken off, and that's okay. That's just something I have to do in order to get the end result that I'm looking for. I just don't want my tow hitch to be rusted off, right? So I'm gonna spray that real quick, and then I'm gonna call it a night, because either way it has to dry. And then tomorrow we'll be back on welding the tube, cutting the tube, welding the other tube, and it should be pretty quick. I hope so. All right, let's get to painting. Of course I ran out of paint, so I'm gonna let it dry for the night. I'm gonna have to go back tomorrow with the second coat, and then I can start welding. But let's give it a quick look in the dark, just so we can kind of see what it'd look like at night when no one can actually see what it looks like. Okay, now let me show you all the couple places that's a little bit light. It's a little bit light right here, here. Still drying over here. But I got a flat black, so it'll kind of match the rest. And don't worry about me getting some overspray on a tire. It's flat black, so no one will ever know. It's a little bit light in some spots, and that's okay, because I just know that I have to get it done. But like I said, no one's gonna be looking at the paint on the tow hitch. I guess maybe, but let's just call it good for tonight. All right, so I'm back today. I actually ended up getting some more paint. I repainted it, so it's actually really nice right now. We need one thing and one thing only. I'm just kidding. We need to extend our lights. I unplugged it already, just because I was looking at it and it won't really fit. So what I'm actually talking about is my license plate light. Those have to be on in the dark. Who knew? So I just need to extend it, make sure that it works. Kind of the plan is right now is to cut this wire, extend it about 6 inches to where the piece, this can right in, and then it'll face, so imagine the bar across and the license plate will be here. So I'm gonna have one here and one here. Technically I only need one, but I'm gonna do both. So I'm gonna go cut those, extend them, and get that mounted. That way I can make sure all that works before I even try to do anything else. For some reason they're not working right now. I got them connected properly. I got white to white, green to green. I don't know why it's not working. Maybe I popped a fuse whenever I cut the wires. Maybe because it could just always be energized. That could be the case. I got to check that. But I don't have time for that at the moment, so that'll be on the back burner for now. If we have time, we'll go and look for that at the end. Right now what I'm gonna do is measure from the to the outside of the hole. And then I'm gonna take the overall length of my pipe and then subtract it from that on each end. Subtract it from the total, divide by 2. We'll look at it, we'll run some numbers, I'll mark it, then we're gonna see if I did it right. So let me get to measuring. Okay, so this rod, pipe, whatever, is 52 inches total. The gap from outside to outside was 41 3/8. So I marked it here at 5 5/16. So let's write it in, see if that is correct. And if it is, then we're gonna tack weld it into place. I have never measured anything more accurately in my life. If you look at it, just given the width of the paint pen that I used, it is literally right on that line. And it matches the same mark that I used over here. You can't really see it at the moment, but I can see it. I'm gonna go ahead and tack that into place, and then we're gonna get measuring on the ends. So now that that is tacked into place, I'm gonna take this and put it on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, mark it up to here where it has that dent. It has an indent from the rear bumper in the past. I'm gonna mark it there. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna cut them both. I'm gonna make sure they're level. I'm gonna tack those on. And that's the rear bumper. So let me get to cutting on those. Let me get to marking on them, and then we're good to go. So let's throw those on real quick. Okay, so the ends trimmed down to size so they actually fit nice and flush. And now that they're here, what I'm gonna do is try to line them up the best I can to be even and level. I'm gonna take a level to it, tack it on. Then I'm gonna full weld everything, and that's that. I also need to self-tap the license plate back on, but that shouldn't take more than a second. So let me get to tack welding that, and then we should be good. Okay, so I just finished. I need to get a wire brush, like an actual hand brush, so I can repaint. All this is dirty, and I can wipe it off, and I will wipe it off. But with that being said, the rear end's done. That was way easier than I thought it was gonna be. I gotta clean up some wiring, clean up some welds, but other than that, we're done. Let's take a look at it. Yes, it's not perfect, but it's good. I gotta fix some of the wiring. I gotta figure out why the tail lights or the license plate lights aren't turning on. But for now, I'm gonna leave them just because I'm out of time. Finishing this, I'm actually headed out for a trip, which is perfect because that means I finished just in time to have a license plate on the truck and finishing the front and rear bumper. But before we're finished, let's take a look at it, let's admire it, and let's go out with a bang. So if you liked the video, like the video. If you didn't like the video, don't like the video. Tell me how I could have done better. I'm still in the process of learning how to weld, how to fabricate, all these things. So this is all pre-made stuff, pre-cut, pre-bent, just off of Amazon. Can't complain about it. Don't know how much I'd recommend it because it might not work for your build, but I like how it turned out on mine. So let's admire the rear bumper